Now, two pieces of equipment from the United States are now in Australia, too, to help to search for Flight 370. Joining me now is Sam LaGrone, editor of the U.S. Naval Institute News. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's talk about those planes, those search planes, because they've been looking and looking. Some of those planes have spotted stuff, but the ships in the water haven't been able to get to that spot before weather happens or nightfall falls. It must be frustrating for those pilots.
Well, if you think about the satellite imagery that's coming into the pilots, I mean, it's generally a guide for where they can look, but the waves and the wind currents of the ocean can move debris several miles, dozens of miles before planes can actually get there. So when you think about how these planes execute these search areas, they're given a general grid, so a box in which they have to search in. And so if you think about it like mowing your lawn, you have your yard, and you have to go back and forth in a very systematic way, so you can check off that grid and make sure it's clear and it's ready to go, and then move on to the next kind of search area that you're being directed to, in this case by the Australians.
And I know when they spot debris, they throw buoys out of the plane to sort of mark the spot, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, there's also sorts of series of markers that the P-3s and the P-8s and now the Chinese aircraft can deploy to throw out a marker to say that this area might warrant more investigation, or we've already been here, just in case someone else goes over the same territory.
I also want to talk about this underwater robot that will be used. It's equipped with sonar and shaped sort of like a torpedo. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. The Bluefin 21 is a technology that the Navy's been testing for mine hunting. So one of the hard parts about finding mines on the bottom of the sea is you have to have a very high degree of fidelity to check to see if that, well, is that a mine or is that refrigerator buried in muck? So it's a very sophisticated sensor set that's based on this essentially a sonar robot. And the Bluefin in particular can go really deep, about 3 miles, and it has a pretty sophisticated series of sonar and what's called a multi-beam echo sounding that gives you a very clear picture of the sea floor. The problem with that is that it's relatively slow. It only goes about 2 to 4 knots when it's searching, so you have to have a very, very specific area to look at for it to be useful.
Yeah. There's the problem, right? I also understand a towed Pinger locator is in Australia. It won't get to the search area for at least another week. Will that be too late?
Well, if the battery on the black box or the flight data recorder is about a month. Given how long the aircraft has been missing, so it's about 2 weeks left until that battery goes out. So it all depends. This is one of 2 that the United States Navy has that's run by their salvage division of Naval Systems Command, and they are able to employ those, in the event of one of the Navy's planes go missing. But it's also, has obvious civilian applications here. But combining the Bluefin with the TPL-25, which is the black box detector, those are essentially in the region for contingency purposes. I mean, you have to pretty much know where the aircraft is before either of those pieces of equipment would be very useful.
Understand. Sam LaGrone, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.